time for more cocktail archaeology, where we plunder the depths of the old school cocktail manuals to see if the drinks have stood to the test of time. Today we're doing, I love the name, The Flowing Bowl by the only William, who was actually William Schmidt, and he wrote this back in 1891. So let's see what they were drinking back in 1891. I see the great appetizer. Half a pony of absinthe. I love when they measure in ponies and stallions and mares. Dash of orange bitters. Vermouth. That one's not doing it for me. Let's see what else. Imperial opal. More absinthe and anisette. And this time yellow chartreuse. Let's see. How about the whiskey cocktail, which is gum syrup, which is a very thick sweetener, 2 dashes of bitters, some absinthe, of course, and whiskey. So I like this because it seems kind of like an improved old-fashioned. Let's see how it is and go get some ingredients. All right, so let's see how Mr. Schmidt's whiskey cocktail turns out. We are going to start with the whiskey, and he calls for a drink of whiskey. I have no idea what he meant by that, but I am a big believer that no cocktail should have less than, say, 3 ounces of booze in it. So we're gonna do 3 ounces of booze. 2, and the whiskey, by the way, I'm using is bourbon. So we've got our whiskey in there, and then he wants 3 dashes of gum syrup. So we need gum syrup, and he also wants bitters, by which I assume he means Angostura bitters. So we use those. Now 3 dashes of gum syrup. Now gum syrup is just a sugar syrup with gum extract in it, which adds viscosity to the finished drink. I don't know how you dash this, because it's really thick and syrupy, but I'm just gonna, here we go. Is that 3? I have no idea if that's 3. We'll do more. There we go. That's good. All right. And then he says 2 dashes of bitters, so that's a little bit easier to dash. All right. And a dash of absinthe. Absinthe is pretty potent, so I'm with him on the dash part. Okay. Licorice. Oop, there we go. That's a dash. All right. Now I think we've got everything except the squeeze of lemon over it. Now this is kind of weird because normally you would do this to serve the cocktail, but I'm just going to trust Mr. Schmidt and assume that he knows what he's talking about. There we go. Take off a nice strip of zest, and I'm going to squeeze it. Boop, boop. But I'm going to do what I would normally do, which is throw it in the serving glass. All right. Now, stir this well with a half a glassful of fine ice. Give it a nice stir. Smells good, actually. I would have gone, I mean, if it was up to me, I'd have gone with orange peel rather than lemon, but, you know, this takes it in the direction of a sour in terms of flavor profile. He doesn't say what type of glass to use, so I'm just using a rocks glass since I'm inspired by the old-fashioned, so why not? Let's see what happens here. He doesn't serve it on ice, but that's okay. I'm not a big believer in icing my old-fashioned anyway. It smells good. It's not bad, actually. I kind of like it. You know, it's got the lemon, but it's in the background. I'm not a big fan of lemon in whiskey, actually, but since this is just the zest, you're not adding the acidity and not a ton of flavor, just a little hint of it, so I can actually tolerate that. It's the absinthe, though, that really transforms this drink. And you're getting those kind of anise notes in the background, and they're playing with the kind of corn sweetness of the bourbon. It actually really works. I think the one thing I would do differently is this whole, like, 3 dashes of gum syrup. I think you're not really getting much out of the gum syrup in a drink like this. I think I would have used maybe like 1/4 of an ounce, maybe even veering up toward 1/2 ounce, which is a lot for my taste in a cocktail. But I think you would have got more of the viscosity out of it, but it's actually pretty good. All right, William Schmidt. You win. Your whiskey cocktail actually is pretty good, stood the test of time. I would just say let's come up with a better name for it, please. Cheers.